Oh, recording in progress. Got it.
Well, good evening. I'm Jack Cox, author of Love Not Fear, which you can't see. And I'm here tonight with Annie Day, author of Orgasmic Health and your guide to feeling fabulous fast. So hello, Annie.
Hi, Jack.
How are you, Annie?
What's new?
What's new?
I'm just feeling really, really happy about all the extraordinary blessings that the universe is giving me. So I've got very, very exciting stuff to share with people this evening and some exciting news from the People's Health Alliance as well. So that's all good. Right.
Well, go for it.
Go for it. Okay.
Walk straight into it, Annie.
I did. Of my own choosing, Jack, of my own choosing.
We're dying to hear from you.
Okay, so most of you know that I remind people all the time the importance of hydration. Our beautiful bodies are made up of 80% water. So if we're not replacing it with good quality water, then we can't reach optimum health. We can't surpass our goals and we can't show up consistently as the best version of ourselves because we are so massively dehydrated. So most of us know that tap water is really bad for us. It's got chlorine, fluoride, pesticide, insecticides, heavy metals, female hormones and everybody else's medication. So the most contentious part of that is fluoride is carcinogenic and it's also a neurotoxin. So it basically destroys our brain. So the last thing we want is to be drinking tap water. So one of my recommendations is I have a beautiful Kangen water machine. It's not for everybody, I appreciate. So one of the most economic ways of having good quality water is to buy yourself a decent filter jug that takes out most of the nasties. And then something else you can do is our bodies work best when they're alkaline. So just by adding a couple of slices of lemon can alkaline the whole of our system. So it's really worth drinking lots and lots of water. Every single cell in our body needs to be having lots of water. And some of the health issues that we have are caused primarily by us being dehydrated. So I would say drink warm water, have an experiment with warm water, avoid coffee, don't have more than 1 cup of coffee in the morning. Always make sure if you are going to drink coffee that you stop by 3 o'clock because it can stop you from sleeping basically, and it can over agitate your heart. So I would recommend beautiful, warm water if you can. By drinking warm water, it means that your body hasn't got to waste time in getting very cold water up to blood temperature. So our body will only start utilizing that beautiful water if we've made it warm already. So drinking half hot, half cold water from your beautiful water filter jug with a couple of slices of lemons in can make a really big difference. So the temperature is important for the reasons I've just explained. I take a big pint glass like this to bed with me with warm lemon water in. But what I do is I drink some of it and then I cover it up because we don't want the negativity that we're shedding during the evening and any dust or anything else to get into our water. So I'd normally put some sort of cover on the top so that I'm only getting good quality water. But I can't stress enough how important it is and what a difference it makes to my students and also my patients when they start drinking good quality water. It makes a fantastic difference. So the next thing I want to talk about is protection. So as soon as I wake up in the morning, I call in Archangel Michael and I ask him to protect me before any negativity can get in and destroy my mental well-being. So it doesn't matter whether you believe in angels or not. Hello there. It doesn't matter if you're believing in angels or not, Archangel Michael is wonderful at helping us to be able to feel really protected and really grounded as well. He's one of the most amazing archangels, and he has an ability called omnipresence, which means if everybody in the world called in Archangel Michael, then he could be with all of us at the same time. So the worst places that we need to be protected from are any places where there are a lot of, I don't know quite what I've done here.
I can still hear you.
You can still hear me. Oh, that's better. So I couldn't see you. So yeah, so the worst places are any places that are really crowded, but especially supermarkets have lots of negative energy in. Most people don't have happy experiences when they're shopping. So before you go in, call in Archangel Michael. It doesn't have to be a complex way of calling him in. You can literally say, Archangel Michael, protect me. The other worst place is airports, but also restaurants and bars where when people have been drinking alcohol, it opens up their crown chakra, which brings in all sorts of negative entities, basically. So protection, make sure you're protected straight away as soon as you wake up. So the next thing I want to talk about is grounding. It is so very, very important that we're grounded. We cannot hold that heaven and earth connection if we're not grounded. So I spend, as most of you know, a lot of time with trees because they have their branches in the heavens and they have their roots deeply sunk into the earth. So we really need to be grounded. So one of the things I suggest is that if you need to be grounded for a particular reason, then wear red pants. Wear red pants, that'll really sort things out. My favorite is orange. I really love my sacral chakra because I'm fully aware that by wearing orange pants, it's actually stimulating because that's the color of my sacral. It helps me to release toxins and to receive more joy and pleasure. So who could resist releasing toxins and having more joy and pleasure? So I thoroughly recommend orange pants. So for the girls and boys who can't find orange pants, what we can do is we can put white pants on and then say to the universe, these are my bright orange pants. And the universe, because it knows that white carries the vibration of every color, we can choose whichever color we want. So I've today I have got white pants on that have been told that they are orange today, and that's how it's working. So
does it work if we don't? Does it work if we don't wear pants?
I guess you could just encourage your body to be bright orange. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but you know, the universe is limitless, isn't it, in the things that it can achieve for us. So if we can think of it, then it must be doable, basically.
I'll report back.
Pardon?
I'll report back.
You could get orange body paint. I guess I'm trying to be creative here, Jack, to help you. And just paint it across your sacral, basically.
What if you've only got pink pants, though? Not that I'm asking for a friend.
Are you, Chrissy? You're asking for a friend.
No.
If you've only got pink pants, you just need to go and buy yourself. Invest in one pair of white pants, basically. I'm not quite sure.
I'll tell her later then.
Okay.
Chrissy, I'm never be able to concentrate for the rest of the meeting. You know that, don't you?
So grounding is really important, and again, spending time out in nature can really help to ground us, particularly if we're barefoot. If you want to be sky clad, that's also wonderful as well. So let the universe be seeing your beautiful body, and taking vital vitamin D3 would be my advice to you. But also walk barefoot around your garden for at least 15 minutes. Just the act of doing that, it's called earthing, but it can really help you to feel grounded which means that we feel safe and secure and at peace with who we are and what we're doing, basically. So ground yourself. You can use particular crystals that will help you to be grounded as well. Any black crystal will ground you, any brown crystal, any red crystal, because they're the color of our beautiful earth. The ones that are especially important are black tourmaline. Black tourmaline blocks any negativity that's coming to you, basically, and transforms it. I often wear ruby because, again, it stops vampirism of heart energy and it blocks negative energy, and it also strengthens your heart. So it's a bit of a win-win, really. Yeah. The other crystal that I often use is carnelian, again, because it's the color of the earth. It's very grounding and it's also very energizing as well.
I love carnelian.
Do you? Me too.
And I love moldavite.
Oh yeah, we've talked about moldavite. I'm very sensitive to moldavite, and whenever I use moldavite, I have to make sure I've got a black bogie stone with me and black tourmaline. Otherwise, I go off to the cosmos and I don't want to come back again. So it's really quite important that I'm very grounded, that I'm going to come back, because moldavite's very unusual in that it came from a far-flung planet, and the only place we can get it is from the Struve field, which was along the River Mulder, which is why it's called moldavite. So sadly, this is one of the crystals that will become extinct because we can't replicate it. It's got a tiny bit of earth energies in, but it's also got a lot of star energy, which is probably why Jack loves it so much.
Absolutely. Well, you saw my show on, did you see my show on Friday with Mark Bayersky?
Yes.
Well, this is one of his, and he goes to Serbia and collects them himself personally.
Nice. Yeah, that would be lovely.
And then he puts lots of energy and intention into each one before he sends them out.
How lovely is that?
So they're very, very special crystals.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're very transformational. Moldavite is very transformational. It's very unconventional. And it is very good for helping us to be the very best version of ourselves. But for me, I have to be grounded as well while I'm doing it. Otherwise, I'll be floating around the stars and not getting anything practical done.
Away with the fairies.
Oh, indeed, darling. I've got a bag that states it proudly and loudly that I am always away with the fairies. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is organic food. I understand that there is this perception that organic food is a lot more expensive. As you know, Jack, we're growing our own at the allotment, aren't we? And beautiful, beautiful organic food. What I would say is that the times in my life when I haven't allowed myself to treat myself to organic food have been the times when my health has nosedived. I really, really believe this, and have done since I first became a therapist over 30 years ago, that food is our medicine. So what we're putting inside ourselves is massively important. So it's got to be organic food, really, that we're putting inside us, because that's going to be part of every cell in our body. So eat organic food wherever you can. If you can't buy particularly fruit and veg that's organic, I would suggest that you use organic apple cider vinegar. You can soak them in that and it will take off the waxing. It will get rid of the glyphosate. It will get rid of all the pesticides and insecticides that your beautiful food has been sprayed with. So the last thing you want is for that negative energy to be getting inside your beautiful body. So wherever you can, eat organic food. And when you can't, just eat the best quality that you can, and always bless your food. Always thank the food. Always be grateful for the asparagus leaf that you're eating, the piece of broccoli you're eating, whatever it is that you're eating. Just be very grateful, because whether you're vegan, vegetarian, omnivorous, we just need to say thank you to every living creature, because every living creature has a life force. So Absolutely. We just need to say thank you, because without all those living creatures that have willingly given their life up for us, we wouldn't be the amazing people that we are today.
Absolutely. People tend to forget that plants are living creatures too.
Yeah, Oh, absolutely. There's so much research that shows that not only do plants have feelings, and obviously we know they have life force, but also they've done experiments where one person has gone in and hurt another plant, and they all know which person it was that killed that plant. So, you know, they have a consciousness, and we need to be aware that every single blade of grass has a consciousness and has a vibration as well.
Yeah, one of the early experiments was done with a lie detector machine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was hooked up to a plant, and then the guy burnt the leaf, one of the leaves of the plant, and the lie detector thing went off the scale.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, you know, plants do know everything. We already know that trees communicate via their root systems, and they are vital for us to be receiving oxygen. We're meant to be breathing in oxygen and breathing out CO2, and our beautiful allies, the amazing trees that are so important to our existence, are responsible for that. So, you know, I'm very, very grateful for trees. And also, when we go out in nature and we're in the woods or a forest or wherever, the Japanese call it forest bathing, and I really get a sense of that we are literally bathing in that beautiful green energy that is a feast for our eyes and our senses. But also, again, it reminds us the importance of being well grounded. We know that the branches that are above the ground are mirrored in trees by the amount of roots that are below the ground. So we need to be just as grounded as that, but also to be grateful for the trees.
I eat rose petals. I eat rose petals.
Can't really hear you, Cassie.
Yeah.
Chrissy, I can't really hear you.
Can you not hear me? Can you hear me now?
That's better, yeah.
I eat rose petals. I've got some for dinner. Rose petals, not sprayed ones, not sprayed, but rose petals. You can eat them, and I look all right. I look all right, don't I?
Indeed.
She's got a wonderful sense of humor.
So avoid junk food. Everybody does it from time to time. I've been very fortunate because I was a member of Friends of the Earth for about 25, maybe longer years, and Greenpeace. We were asked to boycott places like McDonald's and all the fast food restaurants because of the damage they were doing to the planet, but also because MSG destroys our heart. It's said to just be a flavour enhancer. It's a lot worse than just a flavour enhancer.
Look at those gorgeous roses. Are they roses?
I can't see roses.
I can't really see too clearly. Are they roses? Or are they carnations? I can't really see. No, they're roses. Yeah, beautiful.
Perfect.
Sorry, so, Annie, you were saying.
MSG destroys our heart, basically. Dr. Blaylock, in her book is called The Taste That Kills, MSG. So monosodium glutamate is a flavour enhancer in that it makes the food addictive, which is why people, for instance, have a McDonald's and they want another one straight away, or they have a Chinese meal and they want one straight away. It has that addictive quality. But what it does do is it messes up our hydration system. It overexcites our heart and our liver, and that is not good for us. So every so often I cringe when I hear parents saying, oh, we're treating the kids to a McDonald's. It's not a treat. It's not a treat. You're just about to poison your poor little child.
It's not a treat at all, no. Sugar's very addictive too, isn't it?
It is indeed, but the sugar substitutes are much worse for us. So aspartame, it causes ridiculous heart palpitations. It causes arthritic type pain. And it is one of the reasons where there are so many people. If you look at when aspartame was first introduced in the late 70s, and you look at how many people now have early onset diabetes, if you have a look at that, there is a complete correlation between those two. Aspartame was introduced, diabetes rose astronomically. And there is a correlation between those two pieces of information. And again, it's addictive. Aspartame is addictive. I've had patients recently and in the past who are addicted to Coke. And it's because of the aspartame content that's in it. And I've helped them to actually reduce it and eventually to come off it. I can't tell you how horrible it is when I see people ordering, I want a Coke, when they're at the pub or they're out in a bar or a restaurant. And I have to stop myself for going to people's table in a restaurant and going, don't be drinking that, it's got aspartame.
It's the people that will order a Diet Coke and think they're doing themselves a favour.
I know. And actually it causes fat to coagulate all around the arteries. And it does cause diabetes, basically. It's just horrible, horrible stuff. But again, it's addictive. So, you know, I've seen children demanding that they have a drink because their body at a cellular level has become addicted. So stay away from MSG and stay away from aspartame and just have the best quality food that you can and always bless it and always thank the food for the fact that you're alive today.
Annie, what do you think about chocolate?
I love it. I'm a frequent flyer with chocolate. The best chocolate for us is dark chocolate because it's rich in antioxidants and it's got less sugar in it. So if you're going to eat dark chocolate, if you're going to eat chocolate,
eat dark.
Yeah, eat the dark chocolate basically. Yeah, there are some lovely ones. Link do a dark chocolate with orange intense, which I'm particularly fond of. But my overall favourite, being a mermaid, is that I really love dark chocolate with sea salt. I know it sounds an unusual mix, but it's
I love it too. Yeah.
Have you tried it? Oh, it's awesome. So yes, if you're going to eat chocolate, avoid milk chocolate, avoid white chocolate, and if possible, eat dark chocolate. And also, if you can, limit yourself to just having 2 squares a day or whatever it is, basically. Sometimes that works for me. Sometimes the hedonist goes, no, I'm having the lot.
I haven't got the willpower for that, Annie.
No, that was my point, Jack. I don't think I've got the willpower for it anyway.
I'll have a whole bar, but I'll only have it once every couple of months.
But, you know, we can only be a work in progress and do the best we can on any given day, can't we? Yeah. Enjoying the present moment. And if that's what we feel is the right thing to do, then eating our own weight in dark chocolate is fine. Because really what we need to be doing, particularly this year, is to unconditionally love, accept and forgive ourselves for everything all the time. And most of us are very good at loving and accepting and forgiving other people, but we're not quite so clever with ourselves. So what I would say is treat yourself like you would a really good friend. So I know the times when I'm at my highest vibration is when I treat myself as a really good friend. I don't moan at me. I don't beat myself up. I just accept that there are times when I do things that aren't particularly good for me. And then I jog on and go to the next moment and go, right, well, I'll do better the next moment. I think it's Maya Angelou that says, always do the best that you can. And when you know better, do better. Yeah. Because at this present moment, we can only do the best that we can with who we are and what we know.
That's all we can do, and it's all we can ask of others.
Yeah, absolutely, darling.
Just be the best person that you can be in every moment.
Yeah.
And we're not here to judge each other.
No, exactly. Exactly. And we're also not here to judge ourselves. You know, most of us have got this big baseball bat that we wallop ourselves around the head with.
Oh,
for things
often.
That, yeah, it's not big and it's not clever, is it really? All we're doing is making it harder for ourselves to reach that higher vibration. So put the baseball bat down and burn the bugger so you can't pick it up at some other time would be my advice.
That actually puts me in mind. Sorry to interrupt your flow.
No, not at all. No.
But if I can just interject with this, because there's a meme that's going around on social media that I've seen a few times recently. And it's based on the background picture is Morgan Freeman, but I don't know whether it's the Morgan Freeman quote.
Yeah.
I'm afraid the meme industry at the moment is a little bit undisciplined in that respect. So I don't know. But, it's an interesting statement. It says that some people are avoiding you because they've, hang on, let me just get the quote up. I've forgotten what it actually says word for word. Just bear with me. Bear with me just a second.
Absolutely, darling. I'm just going to top up my water. I'll be right back.
It says some people aren't talking to you because they owe you an apology.
Oh, that's very profound.
Now, I just want to say that none of you, and this is aimed at anybody in particular, and none of you owe me an apology for anything ever. Okay, we're all just doing the best we can, as Annie just said, with what we know at the moment, with where we are at the moment in our lives. And if I've co-created something with you, then I've done it willingly.
Yeah.
So that
absolutely,
I can
darling.
learn and I can grow from the experience. So
Indeed.
you don't need to feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to anyone in particular, just generally.
Yeah. But
There's
it's a
nothing
really good.
anybody needs to feel guilty about as far as I'm concerned. None of you have done anything wrong.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, darling. You know, that quote that I've just said, we're always doing the best we can in every given moment with who we are and what we know. And when we know better, yeah, sure, we can do things better. But in this present moment, we can only do our very best, and we can't do more than that. And our best is good enough.
Yeah, well, it has to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I always say that you can't be true to somebody else. You can only be true to yourself.
Oh, absolutely. One of my greatest skills, I believe, and this has been affirmed over the last, I suppose, particularly over the last 10 years, is I'm very good at being the best version of me and being very authentic and genuine. And actually, am I bothered about what anybody else thinks about me? Not really. As long as I love and appreciate myself exactly as I am, anybody else loving and appreciating me is a bonus. But actually, it all starts with self-love. It's important that I love, accept, and forgive myself for everything all the time, because I am doing my best. However weird and wonderful that may look to other people, I'm doing my best right now. And you're right, we can only do our best in this present moment. The present moment is all we've got, so we've just got to do our best. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is supplements. I know that most of us would like to get all the nutrients and all the minerals and trace elements that we need from our food. Sadly, because our soil is so badly depleted, that isn't possible. And there are some things that we just couldn't have got from our food anyway. So my overall favorite is magnesium. Magnesium is wonderful. It's responsible for 300 and different functions in the body. It helps our heart and our lungs, but it also helps our muscles. It helps us to release pain. It promotes a good night's sleep and lots of other things. I've helped people over the last, I guess, 30 years by taking magnesium supplements regularly, have overcome depression and come off their antidepressants. Again, it balances our hormones. It does so much. So 35 years ago, we'd have been able to have a portion of broccoli and a portion of spinach, and that would have been our magnesium done for the day. Sadly, because even with organic vegetables, we'd have to eat a wheelbarrow full of broccoli and a wheelbarrow full of spinach as well to get what we need, which clearly is not practicable. So one of the supplement companies that I work with is called Lambert's Healthcare, and the reason I promote it is it's really high quality. There's no bulking agents, there's no talc, there's no chalk, which a lot of, for instance, my least favorite companies for vitamins are ZipVit, that you can buy millions of tablets of magnesium for bugger all, but they've got very few active ingredients. And what the Magasorb that Lambert's do is it's in a bioavailable format, which means it's as near to nature as possible. So I would
don't know
recommend...
how this is coming across in the recording, but...
Sorry, say that again.
On mute now. Can't hear him now.
Oh, where have you gone, Jack? Where's he gone? Are you still here?
You've got to say something now, Jack. You've got to say something.
No.
Can hear you now.
I've got a poor connection today. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but I can't see you. I don't know if Chrissy can.
Yes, I can.
Can you? I can't see him at the moment. So
it looks like a sunflower. It looks like a sunflower to me.
It looks like a sunflower.
Yeah, with his top. Jack looks like a sunflower. Jack does.
Oh, bless him.
He's gone. He's gone from here now. He's gone.
I can't see. No, I can't see him at all, sweetie. I don't know if it's still. It's saying it's still recording. So should we just crack on? I'm guessing so. Okay, so I'm guessing that it is still recording. So the next supplement I'd like to talk about is vitamin C. Vitamin C is often called the sunshine vitamin, and vitamin C is particularly good at strengthening our immunity system, and it's really good for helping with coughs and colds and all sorts of other things, but it's particularly good for helping with every cell in our body. It promotes wound healing. It can help to heal scars. There's so much that vitamin C can do, basically. So again, buy the best quality vitamin C that you can. Start with 1,000 milligrams and build up. Take as much vitamin C as you can, increase it until you get to the crunch point and you get into that diarrhea point, and then you know that you need to go back one step. But I would recommend that you take really huge amounts, or what would have been considered previously huge amounts of vitamin C. Just take as much as you can. So vitamin D3, it's very rainy in sunny Stafford at the moment. So I'm hoping in the rest of the country, it's beautiful, glorious sunshine, basically. That's what I'm hoping for, because we need vital vitamin D3. It's so good for so many functions. It's responsible for 1,000 different functions in the body, and it's actually a steroidal hormone. So it's really, really, really important that we're getting good amounts of vitamin D3. So get out into the garden, show your face to the sun, show as much of your body to the sun as you can, and just really enjoy the beautiful sunshine and all the good it's doing at a cellular level. We can get some of our vitamin D3 from foods that are enriched with it, such as mushrooms, but that's only part of it. We still need vital sunlight to actually activate that, to make it work as appropriately and effectively as possible. The next thing I'd like to talk about is zinc. Zinc is really important as your ally for helping you to recover from any kind of infections. And also, it's really important for our skin. Our skin needs zinc, basically, for it to heal and repair. But the zinc is responsible for so many functions, but particularly clearing lung disease, which is prevalent at the moment. So it's really important. I'd recommend that you take at least 25 milligram of zinc daily. I know that that isn't what it says on the tub. It probably says it's for you to only have 15 milligram, but actually having that larger amount is much more effective for you, because you need to be having it at an optimal level that your body can utilize. So loads of lovely zinc. And then CoQ10. So it's abbreviation of coenzyme Q10. Our hearts are made out of coenzyme Q10. Once we're over 30, our bodies cannot make as much as we need. And it's really important for us to be able to absorb all the energy from the food we're eating, but it's critical for our heart. So anybody who's got low or high blood pressure, anybody who's suffering from heart failure, anyone with any heart problems, I'd thoroughly recommend taking at least 200 milligrams of CoQ10. For anybody who's over the 50 mark, I would recommend that you take it in the format of ubiquinol. It's still the same active ingredient as the ordinary CoQ10, but the ubiquinol can be utilized more rapidly. So if you're over 50, take CoQ10 as ubiquinol. Now, I know it's one of the most expensive supplements that we can get, but I would still thoroughly recommend it because it is so good for our hearts. It's absolutely critical. The next thing I'd like to talk about is gratitude. Most of you know that I am always talking about gratitude and how blessed I feel with all the luscious, amazing things that happen to me. And one of the most amazing pieces of research that is a peer-reviewed study is, I think it's only about 2 years old, but they looked at what happens to the human brain if we just do 10 things every day that we're grateful for. It can literally rewire your brain so that there's less opportunity for your brain to go into that nosedive or to feel negative. So just by doing gratitude can make a really, really big difference. So as soon as I wake up, I put my Archangel Michael protection on. And then the next thing I do is say, thank you for being alive. Because lots of people, I think James told me today that over 1,200 people today did not wake up. So I want to say to the universe straight away, thank you that I got through the night and I'm alive today, because I am very, very grateful that that's the case. And without that happening, then I can't be grateful for anything else, really. So the next thing I do once I've thanked the universe for me being alive this morning is for me to thank the universe for my beautiful, sexy, amazing body, my wonderful, imaginative brain, my great memory, and all of my senses. I really, really love eating good quality, nutritious foods. I love those tastes, and the chocolate that we spoke about earlier. I really love fragrances. I am an aromatherapist, but I love fragrances of flowers and trees and the way newborn babies smell. I love all those really luscious, beautiful fragrances, basically. So one of the things I often recommend to people is that they use aromatherapy oils if they want to lift their mood. So sweet orange is particularly good if you're feeling a bit down in the dumps. Just put a little bit on some tissue and just smell it, basically. And straight away, you're getting that luscious sunshine energy from that sweet orange. The other one that I use quite frequently is I quite often have a mermaid bath. So a mermaid bath is using Himalayan pink salt, or what else have I got? Celtic sea salt. So I have a bath, put my dechlorinator in so it takes all the chlorine out of it, and then I put my seashells in, and I put, once I've got my bath water to the right height and temperature, I add 2 drops of frankincense, and literally it's one of the primary things that frankincense does on a spiritual level. It helps us to let go on every level, releases fears from the past, promotes hope for the future, and that's what we all need. So when you've got your mermaid bath to the right height and temperature, just pop a couple of drops of frankincense in and just let yourself go, basically. And you'll feel so refreshed physically, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. So give it a whirl. So some of my other fragrances that I really, really love is I'm going to talk about Mei Chang. So Litsea Kabiba again belongs to the citrus fruit family. So Litsea Kabiba is almost as good as tea tree for stimulating the immunity system, but also what it does is it helps us to feel very, very confident. So Litsea Kabiba, or its generic name is Mei Chang. It's an oriental fruit that is the same shape as a grapefruit and the same size, but it smells more like tangerines or satsumas or something like that. So give it a whirl. Tea tree, I absolutely adore tea tree. It's good for, it's an antibiotic, antifungal, antiviral, antiseptic, but it also stimulates your beautiful immunity system. So you can have it burning in an oil lamp. You can use it as a mouthwash. It's not the best taste, I appreciate, but it's really good for just cleaning things up. I've been treating someone who's had a fungal nail infection for ages, and just getting them to massage tea tree oil into the nail bed has made that go away after all the different treatments that he's been recommended to in the past. So it's really, really good for lots and lots of things. So I often have it burning in my treatment room, so that if anybody does show up with coughs and colds or throat infections or whatever it is, then they're going to be breathing that in, and that will have a significant beneficial effect on them. So I really love tea tree. Another of my favourite is rose geranium. So rose geranium smells deliciously of roses, but also of geranium as well. And what it's particularly good for is it rebalances our hormones, and it rebalances our emotions as well. So if you've been going through a tough time recently, then just smelling the rose geranium can make a really big difference in lifting up our mood, basically. And as I say, it can also balance our hormones as well. So it isn't like, for instance, soy that will disrupt your hormones. It actually stabilizes your hormones. So what else do I want to tell you? Laughter. I love laughing so much. And you know, Chrissy, I make everybody laugh. I've got an insane sense of humor, which I absolutely adore. So I'll tell people jokes all the time. And what I've learned over the many years, I was a special needs teacher for 25 years. Then I went to work in a women's refuge. Then I worked in a hospice, and all of these places are quite challenging if you don't retain your sense of humor. And I know that using appropriate humor with people makes a really massive difference. It is vastly underrated what a difference that laughter can do. Basically, laughter is so good for raising our vibration and helping us to release any stress. You can't be laughing and be sad at the same time. That's just not possible, is it? So I like looking for ambiguities in articles or things online, where just because they put the comma in the wrong place or the apostrophe, it changes the meaning of it completely. But I tell jokes all the time, and in my second book I've written at least 5 different jokes that just to make people really laugh, because laughter medicine is so critical to our mental health. Just being with someone and laughing can make such a difference, and we're releasing all those beautiful endorphins as well that help us to feel even better about ourselves. So yeah, laugh all the time. Laughing's really good. And also it's a great releaser as well. The worst times of my life, if I've managed to find something insane to laugh about, it's really helped me to cope with the heartbreak that I've been going through. So find things to laugh about, watch comedy films. You know, one of the funniest comedians is Billy Connolly. I just think he's so funny. I only have to look at him and I start to feel much, much happier. So, you know, watch something on YouTube, have a look at jokes, learn jokes. I've actually trained myself to learn jokes, so I don't give you the punchline right at the beginning. And I do give you all the salient points, so it is funny at the end. So just find lots of opportunities to laugh and laugh at yourself. Those of you who know me intimately will know that I have the most unusual sense of direction. So I can get lost in a restaurant, I can get lost in the loo and try to come out the broom cupboard and do all sorts of wonderfully funny things. And as long as I retain my lovely sense of humour, it's all good. And eventually my sat nav will get me back home, however long it might take. So find things to laugh about. And again, that's one of the things that I love about me, is that although I've got loads of skills and talents and abilities, there is that thing where I just had this very unusual sense of direction, which has led me into all sorts of adventures, basically, because I've ended up at places that were really pretty and woods that I wasn't supposed to have found, but I did because I got lost, basically. So love your talents and abilities, but love your weaknesses as well, because they're all part of us. So I love the fact that I have a very unique sense of direction. It makes me laugh all the time. So crying, oh my goodness, I love crying. So I've said this before, but one of my favorite pieces of music is Adagio for strings in D minor. And every time I hear it, it makes me cry because it's so beautiful and it's so full of love, and I just love it. But equally, I'm the girl who can cry at a rainbow. I can cry at something that's really sad. Sometimes if I know that I really need to cry and release some of that heart break that's going on inside me, I'll deliberately put on a film that I know will make me cry. So one of my favorites for making me cry is Bodyguard, and that bit where she goes, stop the plane, stop the plane, stop the plane, and they play I Will Always Love You. So, you know, if I want to make myself cry, I put on a weepy film, and that really does the trick for me because it will make me cry. And, you know, we've all said this at some time in our life, that, oh, I feel so much better now, I've had a good cry. And yet often we don't allow ourselves to cry, basically. So I would say let yourself cry. In the past, I haven't always appreciated how important it was to me, but now I do.
Honey,
hello.
Honey, oh, the microphone's working again. Brilliant.
Hey.
Back in the
room. Can you give me some advice?
Possibly. Try me.
I haven't been able to cry for years.
I've cried all my cry, Jack.
I cried all my tears a very, very long time ago. Have you got any advice?
Of what could make you cry?
Yeah.
I'd sniff frankincense because it helps us to let go on every level, releases fears from the past, promotes hope for the future. But also it's really important that we cry, because that lovely oxytocin, as soon as that big tear plops onto our cheeks, it gives us vital oxytocin, and it says to the body, start the healing process. That's why we all say Oh, I feel so much better now. I've had a good cry. So yeah, I'll give you some frankincense, Jack. I'll give you
Thank
some
you.
frankincense that'll help you to just let it go. Let it go.
Good. Thank you.
And often do you think as well, Jack, that sometimes, I know I've done it, I've kind of judged myself for crying, but actually I've learned, particularly over the last 7 years, that it's because I've held it together for too long, that's why I need to cry. It's because I've been too strong for too long. So actually, it might be the same for you, Jack, that you've been too strong for too long, and sometimes we just have to learn to just let those tears out. My maternal grandmother used to tell me all the time when I was moaning about crying that it heals the heart the best, and she's so wise and wonderful. That is the truth.
Jack, my cooking will make you cry.
Sorry, Chrissy.
My cooking, my stew will make you cry. Try some. Makes me cry.
So stew and frankincense we're recommending for you, Jack. Perhaps not in the cooking.
Two onions.
Love it. Dancing. I love dancing. I dance everywhere. Even if you can only dance around the garden or dance around the lounge, dance, it's a really important form of exercise because we're moving all of our body, and also the music that we choose to dance to is really quite bouncy and joyful music anyway, isn't it? Unless you happen to be into tango or whatever.
Put the Simple Sisters on.
Combine that with rebounding.
Baby, you know it. I'm a rebounder. So if any of you have been to Heaven Sent Bliss, you would have seen the rebounder. And I rebound for at least 5 minutes a day, usually much longer, because the next YouTube video will come on and I'll be bouncing away, and it's such good fun. I defy anybody to be on the rebounder jumping up and down and feel sad. I just don't think that is possible at all. I think that rebounding, there's 35 different benefits. It helps your lymphatic system, it helps your digestion, and it is good fun because actually I'm usually doing dance moves and exercise moves while I'm listening to the music. So currently I've been bouncing to Mr. Blue Sky, Uptown Funk, Lust for Life, and what was I listening to this morning? I'm trying to think. Happy Pharrell Williams. So they're all really bouncy things, but they're all really uplifting songs as well. So yeah, I would guarantee that dancing's good for you. So go out in your back garden and have a dance around the plants, basically, or dance around your lounge, or dance wherever you like, basically. So that kind of leads on to exercise in general. So I do go to the gym. I usually go alternate days because I really like it. I like being on the cross trainer, I like being on the running, but I like using all the weight machines as well. So I'm going to be like Popeye eventually with my big muscles, basically. I will show you my muscles on Wednesday night, Jack.
Oh, I shall really look forward to that, Annie. Dear Mr. Atlas, I've done exercises to send muscles.
I'm Mrs. Atlas. So I really love the gym because I can use the weights on my legs, my thighs. I do squats. I do all sorts of mad lovely stuff. But also, I end up doing my own little stand in the park meeting when I go into the ladies bit of the gym. They go, "Come on then, Annie, tell us the latest then." So from the beginning of the scamdemic, I just started dropping little bits of information and saying, how long have you known that you should be breathing in oxygen And these were elderly ladies, and they were going about 6. And I said, so what's changed your mind? And they went, yeah, what's changed our minds? Yeah, it's bullshit. And I went, it is bullshit, and it's propaganda as well. So, you know, take your masks off, whatever they're telling you. You really need to be breathing in oxygen. So I really like going to the gym because I have my little stand in the park meeting in the ladies' bit of the gym, and anybody else who's silly enough to talk to me in the gym just gets beautiful ways of helping themselves to feel happy, basically. What I would say about any exercise you're doing, I hear so many men saying, oh, I have to do this and I do my circuit training and I hate it, and then don't do it. If it's hurting you, stop doing it. If you're not having fun and smiling while you're doing your exercise, find another exercise.
And the benefits of exercising with your nasal breathing is phenomenal, apparently. And
oh, absolutely. It can make you really high.
It can make you really relaxed.
I don't know about that, obviously.
Have you seen my rebounder? You see my rebounder?
We're losing you, Chrissy.
Oh, right, that's my rebounder there.
No, we've lost you. We lost you.
You lost me. Okay.
I think you might be back again. You might be back again.
No, it's gone.
Rebound.
I don't know if she's mute, maybe.
No, she's not muted. I can hear something, but I can't hear clearly.
Can you see my rebound?
We'll have to learn to lip read, Chrissy. I think she's just got a slow connection.
But broadband has been quite funny lately. The last couple of weeks, broadband has been really slow here for a change.
That would explain it.
Oh, it's unstable. It says it's unstable now. It says here.
Oh, it's unstable.
I'm unstable. I'm unstable.
Aren't we all, Chrissy? Eh? Aren't we all?
So, have fun with your exercise. Whatever exercise you're doing, make sure it puts a smile on your face. Sex is
What's that?
I'll explain all about the birds and the bees.
Oh, you tell me all about it on Wednesday. Yeah.
At least a dozen different benefits. It's really good for cardiovascular health. It helps us to feel really good about ourselves. Our sacral really goes bing when we're having sex because it's so pleasurable. So if you are not with somebody to give you sex, then learn to self-pleasure. Learn what you really enjoy. To give
too much information.
You said I could say whatever I wanted, Jack Cox.
You're talking to the converted, Jack. You're talking to the converted.
So have sex with yourself. If you can't give yourself pleasure, you sure as heck can't let somebody else give you pleasure. You've got to be able to love the skin you're in and love pleasure in yourself, basically. And also it puts a big grin on your face. Anything that puts a big grin on your face has got to be good for you in my book. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was singing. I love singing. I can see Chrissy's the same. I love singing. I sing in the shower. I sing, thank you for all I have. Thank you for all I've had. Thank you for all I will have. Thank you for all I have. And I also sing that I have a happy, healthy, sexy body when I'm in the shower. And I make sure that I'm stroking myself so that that affirmation gets really locked into me. So when you're in the shower, say lovely things to yourself because it's a good opportunity to bring positive energy in, but also to release any negativity as well. And also because you're saying thank you for all I have, thank you for all I've had, and thank you for all I will have, you're saying to the universe, I know that you've always given me what I needed. You've got my back right now in this present moment, and in the future, you're going to provide for me. So just having that gratitude and that affirmation again is really, really good. And then one of the things I've been saying for a while is I'm paid very well for doing what I love, and I am. And the more I say it, the more people are coming forward for training or for therapies, or they're asking me to do talks. And basically they're paying me very well for doing what I love to do. So it's just a matter of affirming it to the universe, and the universe goes, oh, did you like that? Well, we'll give you some more of that then. So keep saying those beautiful affirmations. So I also say my wealth comes from expected and unexpected sources, because I don't want to be limiting the idea that I will only get money from the work that I do, from the career I've chosen to do. And there are lots of other ways that I could be getting prosperity, abundance, and wealth. What else was I going to tell you? So yeah, the way affirmations work is they have to be set in the present moment. They have to be set in the positive. It's no good talking about the future, because that's not what we've got. It's the present moment. So one of the affirmations I've used is everything I touch is successful now. So it's that all important now, in this moment. Everything I touch is successful now. Everything I touch turns to gold now. So just think about all the luscious words you could be saying as affirmations about yourself, and also about what's happening to you right now, and incorporate that in the evening with your gratitude. I always say thank you to the universe for all the amazing things that have happened during the day. And again, I start off by using 10 affirmations of all the lovely things that I'm grateful for that day, but usually a fair few more. Something else I do as well, just before I go to bed, is I lie on my back and put my feet up against a wall. So basically, that if these arms were my legs, which clearly they're not, I'd be lying on my back.
Show us with your legs, Annie.
I don't know why I'm not showing you with my legs, really, Jack, at all. I've no idea why I'm not doing that. So what it does is it can help the blood to flow into our hearts a lot easier. If our legs are up like that, then the blood is flowing down into our heart, which is so vitally important for a good night's sleep. It can also release anger, disappointment, irritation, all the things that are usually based in our liver, basically. So it sounds mad. I know it sounds mad, but actually it's really easy to do. Just lie on your back and elevate your legs, even if it's only for 10 minutes before you go to sleep. It can make sure you have a really good night's sleep, and that you don't wake up about 3 o'clock when your liver's working at its hardest. Ask for help. I'm going to put my hands up to this. I'm not always the best at asking for help. I'll struggle along with things. I'll struggle along with things and then eventually have to ask for help. So I have learned, particularly over the last 2 years, that I really need to ask for help straight away. And actually, I've also realised that, for instance, I've asked my neighbour to carry my organic soil into the garden for me, and he was delighted after he'd watched me struggling for at least 15 minutes trying to get the bloody thing out the back of my boot. I went over and said, Rob, would you be able to give me a hand? So he threw this big bag of organic soil, one on one shoulder, one on the other, and after me struggling. So it is teaching me, go and ask for help straight away. There's lots of things I can't reach as a 5'1" goddess. So I've also asked my neighbours. I've got some very tall male neighbours. So I've been asking them to, instead of me getting my chair and climbing up and putting my solar powered fairy lights up, I'll ask them to just reach up and do it for me. So I'm learning, but like everybody else, I'm a work in progress. So ask for help. Always put your own oxygen mask on first. So what that means is, when we're on a flight, it says, in the event of there being no oxygen, put your own oxygen mask on first, and then put your husband's, your children's, your blah, blah, blah. What a lot of us do is the opposite of that. We'll run round putting everybody else's oxygen mask on and then go, what about me? So make sure you always put your own oxygen mask on first. It's not selfish, it's actually selfless. Because if you don't look after you, you cannot look after everybody else. Always speak kind words to yourself. Always speak kind words to yourself. Quite often we say horrible things about ourselves and treat ourselves really badly. And actually all it does is it drops our vibration. So I've learnt again over time that the more I can affirm myself for the things I'm doing my very, very best. Then if I treat myself as a good friend, then I tend not to berate myself for things. Before you go to bed, make sure that you've had some warm lemon water and then cover it up with something so that it's not getting all the negativity that we may be releasing during the evening, but also it won't be getting bits of insects and goodness knows what else in. And again, use gratitude, and most of all, have as much fun as you possibly can in every moment.
That's brilliant advice. Thank you very much, Annie.
Thank you.
We've gone well over time, not a criticism. We've enjoyed every minute of it. So I think we better wrap it up.
Do you want me to tell you about the PHA very quickly?
Yes, very quickly.
Turn the light on so I can actually see.
Yeah.
So this is so exciting, and it will only take me 2 minutes to read.
Yeah, yeah.
The PHA have now got 79 hubs around the country and 2 in air, with many more around the world that will be announced in the coming weeks. I mean, this is so exciting. The power of the pound is gathering momentum and is aimed at donating a recurring monthly pound from 1 million people. These funds will go towards the setting up of a rapid response unit with rapid response, first responders, paramedic type, advanced first aiders and first aiders to carry out any emergency. This has become our priority following West Midlands NHS Trust releasing that it will stop answering 999 ambulance calls on the 17th of August this year. At the moment, we are unsure if it's a ploy for funding or because they just cannot do it, but it was and is part of the NHSX document released to stop them. They will run from all the hubs as rapid response units. Donations and fundraising at all the hubs around the country are happening almost daily for hub setups. 39 hubs have acquired physical buildings to work from, and 24 are up and running, plus 19 hubs are utilising individual rooms in shared premises and running as hubs. Many current medical staff are coming over to the PHA with increases daily, and they are looking to stay as medical staff or retrain in natural holistic therapies. Sharing the love is becoming the way of life, and oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I love it. Lots of love, James.
Right. I better just interject and say, for those who don't know, the PHA is the People's Health Alliance.
Yeah.
And I will be putting on when I put this on YouTube later, I will be putting all the links down in the description.
Oh, thank you, Jack, you angel.
Now, I mean, this recording has gone a little bit funny tonight. I think it's been recorded in 3 different sections, but I will marry them all together before I put them up on YouTube.
Thank you, Jack, because if you're expecting me to do it, that's a no-no. Great.
Let's all stick to what we're
not
good
so
at.
good at IT. Yeah, exactly. You are brilliant at IT stuff. Me, not so much, really.
What are you good at, Chrissy?
Car boot sales.
Car boot sales, yeah. Okay.
I've got no room for that stuff no more.
Have you not?
I think entertainment. I think entertainment's my thing. Entertainment.
That's good. Yeah. The wonderful thing is that we're all good at something.
Indeed.
And if we form communities, then we can all contribute what we're good at and benefit from what everybody else is good at.
Yeah.
Without it having to cost us anything. Because we're just friends doing things for friends.
Yeah.
And that's my dream for the future.
Yeah, that sounds lovely, Jack. Really does sound lovely. And the People's Health Alliance, this was my dream 20 years ago, that we would have integrative health practices throughout the UK. And the fact that it's coming through now, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, the People's Health Alliance put out a very interesting video recently called The Future of Medicine.
Yeah.
And I will put a link to that below as well.
Thank you, Jack.
It's a must watch. It really is very good.
Yeah, absolutely, darling. And again, Jack, thank you for inviting me to co-host. But no, not bi-weekly. That would be rubbish. No, it wouldn't be rubbish. It's just not what I meant to say.
Yeah, alternate weeks.
Yeah, alternate weeks. So thank you so much for giving me this great opportunity. I so love being part of Love Not Fear. I can't tell you how blessed I feel. So thank you so much, Jack.
Well, I love having you on, Annie, because you bring a new sparkle of light and life, love and energy to the show. It's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you everybody for coming. I'll be on next week with my other co-host, Paul Simon Smith, who runs the Nutrient Nirvana supplement company. Most of you know him. And Annie will be back hopefully the week after that.
Indeed.
And I also do, just a reminder, I also do my Friday shows, which are called Co-Creating the New Earth Together.
Yeah, beautiful show.
And I've got a very interesting, well, last week, I have Mark Bayersky, which many of you may know. The real coup getting him on. I mean, he's one of the world-renowned healers and psychics. Next week, this coming Friday, I've got a lady coming on to talk about why we should all be free to follow our own path of spiritual development. We shouldn't be pushed down a tube. And the week after that, the Friday after that, I've got a gentleman coming on who used to work in the big pharma industry. And he's going to give us some inside stories. Wow. That should be really exciting. So thank you very much, Annie. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, darling. I feel very blessed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chrissy, for being here. And thanks to everybody who's going to be watching the replay later. Namaste.
Namaste. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you on Wednesday, Chrissy.
See you on Wednesday.
Okay. What to do now?